Okay, so Leetcode practice time. So in this video there are two goals. The first goal is to see how to solve this problem, then we are going to put some coding here. And then the second goal is to see how we should behave in a real interview. So let's get started. So remember in the first step, you should try to understand the problem. If there's anything unclear, please bring up the question and at the same time think about some edge cases. So let's see. So given two strings, word1, word2 return the minimum number of operations required to convert word1 to word2. So you have the following three operations permitted on a word. So insert a character, delete a character, or replace a character. So for example, we have horse and rose, and the output is 3. So we could just remove h, then remove. Okay, so it's replace h with r, then remove r, and then remove e. Okay, it makes sense. And let's see some constraints. So each word is the length of each word is between 0 to 500. So it's okay that a word is empty. And so word 1, word 2 consists of lowercase English letters. Okay, so I think it seems to be pretty normal. I don't think of any edge case at this moment. So let's see how to solve this problem. The next step is about finding a solution. So in this step, you will talk with your interviewer about the general idea to solve this problem, do some certain runtime space complexity analysis, and you get an agreement about the solution before stepping into the next step. So for this one, I would say it is a pretty straightforward dynamic programming question which we learned in school when we first tried to learn dynamic programming. So the formula for DP is like this. So DPIJ means so DPIJ. So I would just use one based index instead of zero based index for the word. So DPIJ means for word 1, 0 until I minus 1, and for word 2, 0 until j minus 1. So what is the added distance between those two substrings? So that's essentially what DPIJ means. So the DPIJ could be computed by, we could decompose this into subproblems. So the DPIJ actually, it is if, I would say, if word 1 I minus 1, so if word 1 I minus 1 is equal to word 2 j minus 1, then it is the smallest within what is that? It is dp I minus 1 j plus 1, or the dp I j minus 1 plus 1, or it is actually dp I minus 1 j minus 1. So this is the main amount of 3 options. So this means we just we could add one character to word 1 to make it a match. This means we can add a character to word 2 to make it match. This means we don't need to do anything because essentially the character matches for word 1, word 2 for the current position. And if otherwise, if it doesn't match, then it is actually the minimum between, again, it's those two, but the last option is going to be different, because this time we could say we just need to replace word 1 I minus 1 to be the character at word 2 j minus 1 to make it a match. So this is essentially about the formula of DP. So the runtime is going to be, let's say the length of word 1 is m and the word 2 is n, so the runtime is going to be OMN. So having said that, let's going to do some coding work for the next step. For coding, we care about the correctness, the readability, and of course the speed for your coding. So let's see. First of all, we will define a DP array. So if it is empty, if either of them is empty, actually we could consider it as so if either of them is empty, then we could just do something simple instead of creating an array and then do the computation. So we could save the computation when one of the word is empty. So if word 1 dot empty is empty, or word 2 dot is empty, then we could just return max word 1 dot length and word 2 dot length. Otherwise, if none of them are empty, then we will need to do the DP, create the DP in matrix. I would say this DP as new int 1 dot length plus 1, and this is word 2 dot length plus 1. So for this, you say first of all, int I is equal to 0, I is smaller than word 1 dot length plus I. So we are going to say dp I0 is equal to I. Similarly, we will have this, so dp j is equal to 0 and j is smaller than word 2 dot length plus j. So we are going to say dp 0j is equal to j. Alright, so that's the initialization, and then what we would do is next step is I is equal to 1 as smaller or equal to word 1 dot length and then this is plus I for j is equal to 1, j is smaller or equal to word 2 dot length and plus the j. So we say dpij. So we need to tell if word 1 dot car at I minus 1 is equal to word 2 dot car at j minus 1. Then we are going to say the dpij is equal to dp, so it is if it is equal, then it is mass dot min. Is it mass dot min? First of all, this is dp I minus 1 j plus 1, or maybe just write it like this, I and then j minus 1. This is plus 1. Then we have another max.max and max.min. So another option is we have dp I minus 1 j minus 1. So this is that is that, and if it is not equal, then we will have dpij as equal to mass.min dp I minus 1 j dp ij minus 1, and then it's mass.min. This says dp I minus 1 j minus 1 says plus 1. Alright, so that's it, and finally we are going to return dp word 1.length, and this is word 2.length. So this is pretty much about it. So after we're done, we need to do some testing. So usually you need to go through some test kits and explain how this piece of code is gonna work and do some sanity check and fix some certain bugs within the code. But I will just use this platform to give me some judgment, because this is pretty much the textbook question, pretty typical. Okay, so I did make some mistake about the typical textbook question. Alright, so let's see where I did it wrong. So here you should say, okay, you should say if it is equal. So let's do another summation here. Let's say here you should return 27. Okay, so let's do another submission. Alright, so after fixing this typo, we are alright. So that's it for this coding question. If you have any question about the puzzle or about the solution, feel free to leave some comments below. If you like this video, please help subscribe to this channel. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.